All right, today we're going to dig into something that is absolutely crucial for any trader, and that's finding your real edge. We're going to move way beyond the simple surface level stuff to uncover what truly makes a trading strategy profitable in the long run.
So, let's start with the big question, right? It's the one every single one of us asks at some point. Why do some traders just seem to get it, while so many others struggle? Well, the answer isn't some secret indicator, and it's definitely not luck. It's all in how the very best analyze their own performance.
And this slide right here shows the huge difference in mindset. So many traders get completely obsessed with their win rate. They think a high percentage is the holy grail. But the pros, they're playing a totally different game. They're looking at these deeper metrics, things like expectancy and profit factor, because those tell the real story about whether a system can actually make money over time.
Which brings us to our first big idea. You have got to look beyond your win rate. We're going to completely reframe how you look at your own trading data. The goal here is to become a kind of performance detective, hunting for those hidden patterns that define your actual edge.
And you have to adopt this mindset. Seriously. Stop thinking of your journal as just this boring logbook you have to fill out. From now on, it's an active investigation. Every single trade, whether it's a win or a loss, leaves behind clues. And our job is to find them and solve the case of what really works for you.
So how do we actually do that? How do we become this detective? Well, we need a framework. So we're going to look at our data through 4 very distinct lenses. This systematic approach is what turns a vague hunch into a real data-driven edge.
First up, we've got setup performance. This is all about getting super granular with your strategies. You know, it's not good enough to just know if a strategy works. You need to know exactly how well it works. Are you asking yourself these questions? Which one of my setups actually has a positive expectancy? And in what specific market conditions does it shine?
Now, we just mentioned expectancy, so let's pause on this because it is that important. This formula you see here, it's the statistical heart of any profitable system. All it tells you is, on average, what each and every trade is worth to you. If that number is positive, you have a real edge. It's that simple, and it's that powerful.
Okay, lens number 2 is all about time and context. Here's the thing. A trading edge is almost never universal. It's situational. You might find out your best strategy only really works on Tuesdays during the London session, or maybe it just completely falls apart in a choppy, ranging market. Finding these kinds of patterns can be an absolute game changer.
Now for a big one, lens 3, your own psychological patterns. Honestly, this is so often the missing piece of the puzzle. Your mental state isn't some separate thing from your strategy. It's a direct variable in your system. Are you tracking it? Do you actually know the financial cost of trading when you're frustrated versus when you're calm and focused?
And check this out. This is what I mean. This chart makes it so clear. This isn't just about feelings, it's about your P&L. The data here shows that the exact same trading setup can produce wildly different results based purely on your emotional state. That gap between a 1.2R average win, that's 1.2 times your initial risk, and a 0.7R win, that's the difference between a profitable career and burning out.
And finally, our 4th lens is risk and execution. These are the nuts and bolts, right? The actual mechanics of your trading. Are your stops constantly getting tagged just before the price turns around? Is your position sizing messing with your psychology? Small, data-backed tweaks in these areas can have a huge impact on your bottom line.
Okay, so we've got our framework of 4 lenses. Now, what are the tools our performance detective actually uses? Let's talk about the magnifying glass you're going to need to find these valuable patterns inside your own trading journal.
There's a whole toolkit you can use, from analyzing the slope of your equity curve to doing some statistical tests. But the one I really want to highlight, the one that truly brings all 4 of our lenses together, is an incredibly powerful technique called trade cluster analysis.
And this right here shows you exactly why it's so powerful. You stop looking at one thing in isolation, and you start combining them. Just look at this table. Trend following by itself doesn't tell you the whole story, but trend following, specifically during the London session, but only when you are in a focused state of mind, boom, that's your hyper-specific plus 1.8R sweet spot. That's your edge.
Finding these patterns is fantastic. It's a huge step, but it's only half the battle. The real goal is to turn these insights into concrete, repeatable actions. This is where your data analysis leads to actual, meaningful improvements in your trading plan.
This quote just nails it.
Understanding that you tend to lose money on Fridays, well, that's just interesting trivia. But creating a specific written rule in your trading plan that says, I will not trade on Fridays, and then actually sticking to it, that is what makes you a better trader.
So this means you have to treat this like a science experiment. Find a pattern, figure out its actual financial impact. Then you form a hypothesis. Something like, if I avoid taking mean reversion trades in the NY session, my overall expectancy will improve. And then you go out and test that hypothesis with real trades.
And this process creates this powerful feedback loop. It's a simple 4-step cycle that drives all long-term growth. You analyze your data, you adapt your plan with the new rule, you execute that plan with discipline, and then you reanalyze to see the impact. This loop, over and over again, is the true engine of consistency.
So we'll leave you with this question. Right now, your trading data is just full of clues, waiting for you to discover them. The patterns that define your unique personal edge are already there. Your only job is to go and find them. So, what's the first pattern you're going to look for?